There is a story the Bible begins, and then never finishes. 4 verses. That's all it gets. In the 6th chapter of Genesis, a group called the Sons of God come down from heaven. They take human wives, and suddenly there are giants walking the earth. And then the story just stops. No explanation, no names, nothing. The mighty men of old, it calls them, the men of renown. And it moves on, as if it hadn't just said the strangest thing in the entire book. So who were the sons of God? Genesis won't tell you, but another book will. A book almost nobody reads anymore. One your Bible actually quotes by name and still leaves outside its own pages. It names who came down. It records what they taught us. And it explains why heaven decided the world could not be allowed to go on. The Bible opens the door. Enoch walks through it. This is the story of the Watchers. The text calls them Watchers, a high order of angel whose one job was to watch, to observe the world and never touch it. And in the days of a man named Jared, 200 of them looked down at the daughters of men and wanted them. Their leader, the text names him Shemahaza, knew exactly what they were about to do was forbidden. And he was afraid, not of getting caught, of being blamed alone. So before anyone moved, he made them all swear an oath. 200 of them bound together so that no single one could ever carry the guilt by himself. They swore it on a mountain, Mount Hermon, a real peak standing today where Lebanon, Syria, and Israel meet. And the text ties the mountain's name to the oath they swore there. In the story, the mountain becomes a monument to their rebellion. Then they came down. But marriage wasn't the real crime. According to Enoch, what came next is the thing that changed human history. Because the Watchers didn't just take wives, they taught. Each one, the text says, brought down a different piece of forbidden knowledge and handed it to us. One of them, the text calls him Azazel, taught men to work metal, to pull swords and knives and shields and armor up out of the ground. He taught humanity how to make weapons, and in the same breath, he taught the women to remake their faces. The bracelets, the ornaments, the paint for the eyes, the art of looking like something you're not. Another taught the cutting of roots, the old words for potions and for poison. Another taught spells and the breaking of spells. And others turned our eyes upward and taught the sky itself how to read the stars, the signs of the sun and the moon, the movements of the heavens, one secret at a time. Now, think about what the text is actually claiming here. In a single generation, a species that had been living quietly was handed the power to adorn itself, to deceive itself, to drug itself, and to kill each other efficiently, all at once. And notice, the text isn't saying knowledge is evil. It's saying something sharper, that humanity was handed power, long before it had the wisdom to carry it. The gift was never the problem. We were. Knowledge was never the gift. Power was. And the world took it with both hands and never once tried to give it back. And then the children were born. This is the part almost everyone has heard. Very few people know where the story actually comes from. The women bore the Watchers' sons. And the sons were not like other children. They grew and kept growing into giants, the Nephilim. The same name that, generations later, would make an entire army feel like grasshoppers. At first, the text says, they ate everything men could grow. When the fields were stripped, they turned on the people, and when the people weren't enough, they turned on the animals, and then on each other, devouring flesh, drinking blood, a hunger with no bottom to it. And here, the text does something I can't stop thinking about. It says the earth began to cry out. Not a person, the ground itself. It's one of the strangest images in the whole book. The earth portrayed like a witness, accusing humanity before heaven for the blood soaking into it. And heaven heard. 4 archangels carried that cry to the throne, and the answer that came back wasn't mercy. It was judgment, and it fell in stages. First, Azazel. the one who taught the blades and the paint. He is bound hand and foot and thrown into a pit in the desert, sealed in the dark, not killed, held, waiting for a final judgment still to come. Then, the giants. They are turned against one another, sons of heaven cutting each other down until the earth is emptied of them by their own hands. Then, the watchers themselves, Shemihaza and the rest, bound beneath the earth. The text says for 70 generations to wait. And finally, over all of it, to wash the world clean of what they have made, the flood. And in the middle of all of this stands one man, Enoch. Because before the end comes, the watchers do something desperate. They go to the one human being said to walk with God, and they beg him, write our petition, carry it up, ask for mercy on our behalf. So Enoch does. He carries their appeal up in a vision to a throne of fire. And the answer he brings back down is the sound of the door closing. You were spiritual, the verdict says, holy, meant to live forever, and you traded it away. There would be no mercy. But here's the strange part. The watchers were chained. The giants killed each other. The flood washed all of it away. So why does the Book of Enoch say the evil is still here? Because of a question the text stops to ask. When those giants die, where do their spirits go? Their bodies rot back into the earth. But their spirits, born of heaven and earth both, belonging fully to neither, do not. They rise up out of the bodies, and they stay. And the text is unsettlingly specific about what they become. They will not eat, but they will always be hungry. They will not be seen, but they will move against people. Rising up against men and women, the text says, because they came from them. They bring ruin, and they do not rest. It gives them a name we still use today, evil spirits. And it says the dead giants are the reason they are here. The flood ended the bodies. The text never says it ended them. Now you could set all of this aside as legend, a story someone invented, long after the fact. And here's what makes that impossible. The Book of Jude, a letter near the end of the New Testament, doesn't just mention Enoch, it quotes it by name. Enoch, the seventh from Adam. A book inside your Bible is quoting a book that was left outside of it. Fragments of that same book turned up in a cave above the Dead Sea. In Aramaic, more than 2,000 years old. And for over 1,000 years after that, the complete text was simply gone from the Western world, until it was carried back down out of the mountains of Ethiopia, where one church had quietly kept it the whole time. A book, the Bible quotes. That names what came down, that records where the darkness went. Left outside the pages, but never quite gone. The watchers were bound, the giants fell. The flood rose and washed the world clean. But the spirits it couldn't drown? The text never says those were bound at all. Where those spirits went and what they became is the next chapter of this story. If you want to follow it, subscribe, and we'll see you back here in the archives.